I wake up to trouble, or at least a threat. I'm sure it's only morning as I peer out of my burrow's entrance, but the sky is already dark and foreboding. My attention moves to the ominous rain clouds above the trees outside my den, their branches shaking from the rain clouds above to the trees outside my den, their branches shaking in a strong breeze.
I can't believe that girl from the cafe was right.
I climb up the tunnel and out into the open, sniffing the air. A storm is coming, and fast. But also, another scent plays on my nose, one so faint I almost brush it off before taking another smell. Surely I'm wrong. There's no way that. Lowering my snout to the ground, I investigate the area and decide that I'm right. I change into my human form and look around.
Someone's been here.
One second. Right, let's carry on. Yes, someone's definitely been here. But this isn't a scent. This scent isn't a human's. It's vaguely familiar, but at the same time not like anything I recognize.
And it definitely wasn't
Miss
here
Fleck?
when I went to sleep.
They must have come here in the night, stopped right outside my den.
Were they watching me sleep? Oh crap!
As a fox, I dive into my hole to make sure everything is still there. My heart pounds in my chest, but nothing appears to be missing. I also check the spot where I buried my stash from last night, but that hasn't been disturbed either. I breathe a sigh of relief. If any of my stuff had been stolen, I'd be so mad. But that still doesn't answer the question of what did they want, and that's even more concerning. I'm a pretty light sleeper, and usually the slightest sound or motion will wake me up. So if someone was able to sneak up on me, even I have to be impressed. Impressed and a little worried. I've got a more oppression issue right now, and I stare up at the sky in disappointment.
I hate the rain.
I would have found a different place to make my nest and hide my supplies if I'd known this would happen. Instead, both burrows will probably just be piles of mud by the end of the day.
I should have found a place with a roof after all.
I fill my pockets with my most important possessions and some of the food I grabbed last night. Everything else I wrap as tightly in plastic bags as I can and bury them within my den. Hopefully I can find somewhere fast and then move everything else over before it gets ruined. An abandoned house would be perfect, or some other place where I'd be able to hide. After finishing packing up, I'm just about to get going when a loud flapping sound catches my attention. I expect it to be a bird, but instead, it's another bat. This one's even bigger than the one I saw last night. Its wings are way not longer and noisier. I can even hear it squeaking something as it flies past. Some people say bats and foxes are similar. I don't see it. I watch it fly around for a little while before it takes off towards the sea.
Maybe it knows somewhere to stay. Guess I'll follow it for now.
A couple times it disappears between the trees or just too far ahead, but I always seem always manage to catch it back up. Eventually, we're out of the woods and back into civilization, where a car whizzes right past me. There's a sidewalk here and other people walking around. Most of them look up to the sky nervously, and everyone seems to be in a hurry.
Guess I'm not the only one looking to get away from the rain.
After finishing packing... we've repeated this. Farther up this road, there's a slope that leads to a big, fancy-looking building. It doesn't look like a shop or a restaurant. At least not one I've ever seen. But there are so many people going in and out that it has to be open to the public. That's good enough for me. It'll give me somewhere dry to spend some time, and maybe I can learn something useful. Plus, places like this usually have plenty of valuables inside, and if I'm lucky, I might be able to find something to fund my next few days. After all, the bigger a target, the less likely they are to notice if something's missing. I need another drink. Yeah. Right. I've messed up it. Log. The sturdy oak door isn't as heavy as it looks, a firm push being enough to heave it open. Gingerly stepping inside and out of the rain, I'm greeted by books. Lots of books. Books on shelves, books on tables, books on the floor. Books everywhere. The place even smells of musty old paper. And a dozen or so people inside are mostly leafing through pages in the aisles. The odd silence around the building is striking, given how many are around. It doesn't look like a shop, so I assume this must be a library. I've heard of them, but I've never been in one. No point, since I can't read and all. But it's warm and cozy and very dry, so it will do just fine. There's a desk near an entrance with a computer on it that I assume would be where I check in. It's unattended, which is good for me. I'll take a seat in an empty chair nearby and sit back to observe for a little bit. There's plenty of people, but it's not too busy. Lots of empty, unwatched spaces. Most folks seem to be here alone or in small groups that keep to themselves. There's not much conversation going on, and what there is all whispers. Nobody gives me a second glance, which is a good sign. It means I'm probably not breaking any rules by just being here. Behind a desk there's a hallway leading deeper into a building, and I peek around a corner to see what's back there. All I can see are some shut doors, and at the very back, a staircase. After glancing around to make sure no one's watching, I sneak down the hall and try a couple of doors. All of them are locked. I could probably pick them if I wanted to. No sense trying to do that now though. Is there anything more valuable around? An antique clock or vase would be perfect. Sadly, it's almost all books. Books and small trinkets that look pretty worthless. Not even worth the trouble of stealing. Well, at least it's got a roof. I do spot a couple of promising items, like a set of old coins, and memorise their locations. I wander back into the main area where I came from. Outside it hasn't started raining yet, but it's only a matter of time. The wind is loud and gusty, making even opening a door is enough and even opening the door is enough to make me shiver. If nothing else, I can probably wait out the rain here. But my poor abandoned snacks back at the den. What a waste. Can't do anything about it now though. I should keep looking around. I move slowly through the area, never going beyond what seems to be the public area. I pretend to inspect a few books, taking them off the shelves and flipping through the pages. But I'm actually mapping out the place in my head. Doors, windows, potential places to hide, things like that. Most of the time this kind of info is unnecessary. It's been at least a few decades since I've had to make a dramatic escape from anywhere. At this point, plotting an escape route is just habit. Overall, I like what I'm seeing. Even with the locked doors and the off-limit hallways, there are plenty of nooks and crannies that would make good hiding spots, especially as a fox. From the thick dust that coats a lot of these areas, I can tell they don't get a lot of visitors. If I'm careful, I might be able to go a whole week or more without being noticed. As long as I can get in and out of the building easily, that is. And with the huge windows that line the back wall, that seems easy enough to do. I weave around a couple of shelves that are taller than I, heading for a far back corner. I peer around the corner of the last aisle, just to make sure I'm alone. But I'm not. Aspen. At a small table by a window sits a woman with a small book in her hand, resting against her fingers. She's perfectly still, but mouths the words on the page as she reads, like she's tasting them instead of just seeing them. Her expression has a distant look of someone way off in her own world, far away from this one. She looks so at peace that I think she must belong in that other world. She is beautiful and elegant, in the same way as a painting, with the light from a window shining in on her like a display. I duck back behind a bookshelf, pressing one hand to my racing heart. My other bumps against one of the books on the shelf, and it falls with a dusty thump. Cursing my clumsiness, I silently back away, in case she decides to investigate. But she doesn't leave her chair.
I suppose it's nothing.
She turns and gazes out the open window. At what? I don't know. A moment later, she returns to her book and leaves this world again. I stay hidden, my face still burning a little bit. Yes, I think this will be the perfect place to spend some time. Suddenly there's a much louder boom than the one I caused, as thunder rumbles outside. A few people around the library startle at the sound and look around. Sighing, a girl in her chair pulls a window beside her closed, the first few drops of rain falling not a minute later. I'll investigate the windows later. Right now, I don't want to bother her, so I head back to one of the plush chairs on the other side of the library and take a seat. Could be here a while, depending on how long the rain lasts, so I might as well get comfy. I find a few books that have more pictures and words and curl up in one of the soft chairs to flip through them. There aren't many of those ones, and I go through a stack pretty fast. It takes long enough for rain to start though. The longer I read, the louder the pounding of rain and the howling of wind becomes. Guess it's not letting up anytime soon. I can't complain now. This library is pretty cosy by usual standards. It's warm and safe. Nobody tells me to go away. I even have snacks. More than once, I get up and walk around the library again, even though I have got most of it memorised by now. I take note of things like a child stuffed toy laying on the floor in the one section, or a thin blanket stuffed between a bookshelf and a wall. On my third or fourth trip, I finally find something I've been looking for. In one of the far corners, totally opposite from where I saw the reading girl earlier, there's a small chair and a small table. On the wall nearby is a portrait. The painting itself is of a girl with bright, light brown hair, but I barely pay any attention to it. What I'm interested in is the frame. It's lovely. It looks like it might be made out of gold. It certainly shines like it. It's carved intricately into a shape of waves flowing up and down. It's gotta be worth something. I pretend not to pay much attention to it as I make my way back to my table. There are too many other people around for me to be able to try and sneak it out. It's too big to fit under my jacket without being obvious. That just means I'll have to come back at some other time. Maybe once this place is closed. The hours pass by and the storm continues. I'm kind of disappointed about losing the whole day, especially so soon after arriving, but it's not like I'm in any sort of hurry. I pat one of my pockets, feeling the familiar and reassuring weight of a paper scroll that's tucked away in there. That scroll is the only thing close to a purpose I have. It's not particularly urgent, or at least I don't have any way to deal with it any faster. I spend a long time reading. Inverted commas, reading. Mixed.io, hello. Thank you for a donation, £35. Pretty nice to find. Pretty nice they make the other fundraisers so easy to find this year. I did one last 2 years and it's not actually showing the full donation. I did one the last 2 years, and was the only one to donate online. Not doing one this year, but hopefully streaming every game during next year's Jingle Jungle. I love that way of saying it. Enjoy and good luck. Thank you so much for donating. This fundraiser is specifically to Calm, campaign against living miserably, and as I can tell, you've got the bundle of a collection, which has some really good games in. Some games that I will be playing later. Yeah, thank you. That means we are at £70. That is the most I've ever raised. Thank you so much. I usually raise about £35. Because basically I buy a bundle. So thank you so much. Yeah, it's so nice to be able to find other streamers so easily, especially with the extra little thing that someone made that you can find below. That little graphic makes it so easy to find people. I remember, yesterday we played First Class Trouble. That was so much fun. That was with a bunch of people from the fundraiser Discord. It's just been a lot busier this year, it feels. But thank you. We're now at double the amount we made last year. So that's great. And I'm only £10 off from getting a Calm badge. So I know I know a few people that are donating later, so that's good. I'm definitely gonna make it this year. Anyway, let's carry on. I spend a lot of the time, inverted commas, reading. It's almost afternoon when I go, and check the windows again, but the rough weather outside continues. At this rate, I'll be sleeping in a puddle of mud tonight. Unless... A quick check shows that a lot of the other library patrons have left. It's not empty, but it's not nearly as full as earlier. Guess some of them have decided that it was worth braving the rain. Got to help out, hopefully you can get more. Basically, I picked a charity, found a stream with low donations that was live. Really nice setup this year for the other fundraisers. Yeah, there's so many small streamers like myself as well. A couple of a lot that I was streaming with yesterday, BB especially. There a lot of them are smaller streamers, and they're amazing people. BB and Anki, hilarious. If you have time, check them out as well. I think Anki is streaming today. Don't think BB is. They were planning on doing Minecraft, but I don't think that ended up happening. But yeah. It's just nice there being so many as well. I think Ruth was saying there was like over 500, which is great. Any sort of just getting that many people talking about charities is great. Yeah, just getting people to talk about charities is amazing, and everyone seems to be collaborating together a lot more, even if they're solo streamers. A lot more people have been raiding each other. I mean, I've been doing that myself. No, BB did that yesterday. So did Julia. It's just everyone's a lot more like collaborating a lot more, which is always great. And just getting so many people, like I said, so many people talking about all the different charities. It's amazing. And I mean, the total raise today is already of a 1.25 million. So that's amazing. And we're only on day 3, second full day. So. As you can tell, I ran a lot. Let's carry on. A quick, I've read that bit. Looking not as nonchalant as I can, I get up from my seat and pretend to browse again, slowly moving through shelves. Reading girl is gone now, although she's not what I was looking for. Whatever you say, Miho, whatever you say. Instead, I pick up a dropped toy and blanket that I spotted earlier. Then I head to one of the out-of-the-way hiding spots I picked out before. It's on the floor between a shelf and a wall, but has a bit of carpet to help make it soft. Even better, it's between 2 corner shelves, meaning that it's practically out of sight if you're not looking for it. I wriggle my way between the furniture and lie down, using the toy as a pillow, draping a blanket over me. I toss and turn a few times before settling down.
Yep, not bad at all.
Even though I haven't done much today, I'm always down to take a nap. That's literally me. Nap any... Both me and my partner are like that. I can pass a few hours by sleeping, wake up once it's dark, and then grab that picture frame and be on my way. I'll have to rebuild my den once I get back, but that's a problem for future me. I yawn, staring up at the ceiling until my eyes get heavy. Yeah, well, I'll probably get a friend or two a bundle. I'll keep an eye open for the other streamers you mentioned. Best part of Jingle Jam is that we very often get to see the effects of the donations, or they give gifts or videos for Yogs. Going back to Wheel Boy and starting to redeem keys. I hope you get some more donors. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in, and like I said, any little, just someone else watching stuff, whoever it ends up being, is great, and it helps charities, and everyone's having fun, which has sort of become mine and a few others a sort of mantra for us year streams. As long as you're having fun, you're doing it right. Enjoy your games, especially a few of them that I'm really excited to play, and enjoy Wheel Boy. Hopefully he survives this year. I yawned, staring up at the ceiling until my eyes get heavy.
Maybe today won't be a total waste after all.
And actually thinking about it, I've seen a lot of the smaller streamers make a lot more money than they usually do as well. People are, it seems like there's a lot more people like you going around and just dropping a few quid into random streamers, and that's great. Because I know one of the ones that I'm featuring later, they've raised a lot more money than I were expecting. A soft sound of cloth rustling wakes me from a dreamless sleep. How did someone sneak up on me twice now? I don't know how long it's been. The sky outside has darkened significantly. Now stars twinkle outside the window. There's no time to react as the sound comes closer. I hear no footsteps, but suddenly a woman steps into view. Her clothes are pure white, making her stand out like a ghost in the dark library. Her cape rustles again as she reaches towards one of the shelves. One of the shelves I'm hiding behind, to be precise. Gingerly, she moves 2 books to her side and slides another book into a space she created. She handles them like precious treasures that might break if she's too rough. I stay perfectly still, afraid to even breathe in case she notices me. My heart beats wildly as she slowly and deliberately looks over a shelf, examining the titles before taking a book from the second lowest row. Through a gap she creates in the shelves, our eyes meet in the darkness. Creepy. Oh no. I tense up as she steps around the shelving between us to get a better look at me, preparing myself to leap away if the need arises. The careful, memorized layout of the library flashes through my mind as I frantically plot the best way to flee. Even as I prepare to escape, I can see her taking in everything about me. The stolen blanket, the makeshift pillow, my generally disheveled appearance. She opens her mouth, and I brace myself for a verbal attack gets sure to come.
Hello there. May I ask why you're sleeping on the floor?
It doesn't matter what I say. Just distract her enough to get away.
I don't have anywhere else to sleep.
I thought so.
She leans down and offers me a hand. I look at it, wearily. I don't take it, but I slowly stand, letting the blanket fall to my feet, and trying to subtly get into a position to
Well,
run.
I have an extra room on the 2nd floor that you're welcome to borrow, if you'd prefer that. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to remain here, on the ground. I apologize for waking you.
So sweet. With a smile, the oddly calm woman steps away and busies herself organising another row of books. She probably expects me to let my guard down and take her off it. I'm just a stranger, someone who broke into her library. There's no reason for her to treat me so kindly. My years of experience, and plenty of others, tell me it's a trap.
Thanks, but thanks. I'll just be going, actually. Sorry to bother you like this.
I hurry past her, shoulders tense as I expect her to grab me or try to stop me. She doesn't know. But one time I glance back, she's watching me with a strange expression that I don't recognise. When I get outside, away from the library, I breathe a sigh of relief.
Whew, that was close. I'm not falling for that one again.
Last time I let someone feel sorry for me and accepted a place to stay, I woke up to him trying to empty my wallet. I may be a thief, but at least I do it honestly. I wouldn't try to trick someone like that. That wasn't the first time someone tried to fool me and take advantage of me either.
Still, it's a shame to lose such a nice hiding place. Maybe I'll give it a couple days for that woman to forget about me, and then try again. If she wasn't lying about there being an empty room on the second floor, then maybe I could sneak into there.
Tonight I'm on my own. Shivering, I wrap my coat and tail tightly around myself as I think about what to do next. 1 second, I'm just quickly checking something. Yeah, I was right. There we go. Whew. Rain has stopped, although it's still cold and cloudy. My stomach grumbles since I haven't eaten anything covering snacks all day.
Ugh.
I may as well get it over with and go check the status of my den.
Well, it could be worse.
Not as bad as I expected, which is a pleasant surprise.
What's a little mine? It'll be just fine.
I swap into my fox form and prod around. The entrance has caved in a little, but after I scoop it out, I find that the rest of the tunnel and main room are relatively intact. Cold as hell, but intact. Seems like the trees protected the den from a lot of the rain. It takes a while for me to find the spot where I buried my stash, since the stick I used to mark a spot got washed away. Eventually, I locate it and start digging. The cold mud makes my paws dirty and sore. A little flecks cover my fur. After I finally reach the soggy plastic bags, I shake myself clean before opening them up as a human. Some water has seeped through and spoiled. I open the spoiled items before tossing them away. I'm not too picky, but I have plenty of other snacks to choose from.
Eat up, birdies!
Making friends with the birds. A few of them swoop down to inspect the offering. I scarf down a quick meal of cookies and unwarmed soup, along with cold water from a stream. At least the water is satisfying. Then, even though I just woke up from a nap not too long ago, I shift back into my fox form and crawl into my den and curl up. I'm sure it'll be a while before I fall asleep, but I don't feel like going back into town. I've had enough excitement for one day. This isn't all that bad. Regular foxes without magic powers have it way worse than I do. Although, back when a fox was all I was, I wouldn't have really cared. To say, I'm not sure what it is that makes me different. I used to be just like Gem. No desire to go beyond the forest or anything like that. And then one day, I became whatever I am now. All I had was my necklace, a small scroll that I can't read, and the memory of the person who gave it to me. They were so kind to me, that stranger in the forest. They wished me well, even though I was just an ordinary fox. Somehow, that didn't seem to matter to them. I never even knew their name, just their face and their voice. I knew that I'll recognize them when I see them again. It's just a matter of finding them again. So since then, I've been looking around. Looking and surviving. Looking for them is what keeps me going. It's enough to live for. If I wasn't, I don't know what else I'd be doing. I guess I'd just be surviving. But if that was the only thing, I think I'd rather have just became stayed a fox. Standing outside my den in human form, I take stock of how things stand. The sun's thankfully out this morning, but everything remains damp, from the ground to the muggy air itself. The chill on the breeze is the worst, making me shiver every time it hits me. The Bell House was pleasant when I visited a couple of days ago, so I decided to head down towards the main street and get a coffee there while working out my next moves. Coming to the door of a cafe, I pause and wipe my feet on the mat outside. The human fascination with surrounding themselves in concrete makes a little more sense as I work the mud off my feet. With that, I finally head inside, only to stop in the tracks as the door shuts behind me. Standing behind the counter is the same girl who I saw reading in the library yesterday, talking with a customer as she takes her order. That gentle aura about her is unmistakable. The person in front of me finishes their order and I step out to a counter. Step up to
Good
the
morning.
counter. That was
Welcome
a
to the Bell
misread.
House. What can I make for you today? Oh, hi. I'll have... what do you recommend? I want to try something new. I'm glad you asked.
That sounded weird.
I was just thinking that you look like the sort of person who would enjoy one of our Fairy Kiss chillers. It's one of our signature drinks, with a vanilla gelato base and a mint chocolate chip swirl.
Mint chocolate chip sounds lovely. I was planning to get something warm, but that does sound pretty good.
Okay, give me one of those then. Perfect. And could I get your name, please? It's Miho.
She scribbles something onto a cup and finishes it with a big flourish.
I'll have that right out for you. Thanks.
I pay and then go to take the same seat as before, next to one of the windows. It's pretty empty in here again, so I can sit wherever I want. Before a barista starts making my drink, I spot her writing something else down in a little notebook. She glances my way once or twice while she does, but I pretend not to notice. I wonder what it is. The barista yesterday didn't write anything down. Anyway, I've got more important things on my mind. I mull over a plan which formed as I walked here, becoming increasingly happy with it. Tonight, I've already decided I'm going to sneak back into that library. Julia! I was just talking about you and and everyone else from yesterday. Welcome, and thank you for a raid. Luckily, unlike Titan, my stream is still going well, and it has not crashed. When Titan raided me on the first day, it was just as my stream crashed. I'm having a great day today. So hopefully it stays well. Wild Cherry, thank you for the follow. I'm too warm now. Yeah, I was just talking about everyone that was streaming yesterday with someone. Pretty much OBS doing its OBS things. Yeah, it seems to be running much better now. Touch wood. But today a different issue came up. Today I found out my save for this game disappeared, so I'm currently replaying it. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but yeah. Luckily enough, I enjoy this game enough to replay it anyway, so we're safe. And it's nice and chill anyway, so I'm not too bothered about losing save. Just a little sad. But it means I can do this whole thing in one go. Hopefully I'll finish it this year. That's the plan. Whether I do or not, we'll find out. But it means I don't have to worry about thinking up for other games for the next few days. I can just sort of carry on playing this. So that's good. Ugh, God. I need a drink now. The only issue is it's a lot of talking. Right. And on the bright side though, I've beat my last year's highest. I'm now at £70. Last year was 50, I think. So that's good. We're £20 over last year's record. My cold ridden throat is loving all this streaming. I feel like after this 2 weeks, I'm going to be dead. I always seem to do amazingly fine for Jingle Jam. And then as soon as Jingle Jam ends, as soon as I stop streaming for it, I just disappear from the world for like the whole of Christmas. I'm always ill for Christmas, without fail. Although this year I'm not working for it, so I should hopefully avoid the illness, but you never know. Tonight I've already decided I'm going to sneak back into that library. Between that picture frame and some of the other trinkets I saw, I should be able to pilfer enough to fund my next few days in Wellington. Finding somewhere to sell it should be the easy part. I've got a dozen of excuses that I can recite about where things came from. Dead grandma, spring cleaning, new renovations. Sometimes I try extra hard and pretend that things I'm selling are really special to me, and earn a bit more cash that way. Sometimes I just take whatever they give me. After years of watching other humans do it and trying it out myself, I've gotten good at pawning items off. I find myself idly watching a barista make my drink. While I do... Sorry, my screen went weird. It just flashed for a second and got a fright. Thought this game had turned into a horror game since I last played it. I find myself idly watching the barista make my drink. While I do, I practice a disarming smile. All her movements are quick and practiced, but she has that same faraway look in her eyes that I noticed yesterday. I do, this is weird, I miss my old job. Not the job that I had just last month, but I miss my job from before. Just coffee making. I find it so much more relaxing than doing other jobs. Because it's like so methodical. It's like a set few things that you follow, and it's the same every time, just changing the odd thing. And you can sometimes be a bit creative with it as well. And I was like the only person who drank tea, so I got to decide what all the teas of the week were, and some of them were not good, but some of them were lovely, and I miss that. I love different teas. I wish I still worked there, because a lot has changed and the baristas have a lot more freedom now, because there's a lot less management, but they're changing a lot of things up, and I just wish I was still there so I could try and push more tea related things. I remember my manager was like, we need to do something, because we didn't, at the time it just opened up, we didn't really have much for anything, so I just randomly started doing this tea of a week thing, and then it sort of stuck. I don't know if they still do it now, I doubt it, because none of them drink tea. The only thing that I wish I had, that I don't, is chai latte. I love chai. But yeah, making drinks is just, whether it's tea, coffee, whatever it is, even hot chocolates, it's just so chill, and it's methodical, and especially with how quiet that place was majority of the time, it's a lot calmer. It wasn't a place like this. I wish it was a place like this. This is so calm, and so if I was to open a shop, a coffee shop, this is what I would design it after this. Anyway, I'm ranting. She looks up and our eyes meet. I don't look away, and she turns pink before ducking away behind a machine, out of sight. Bless her. I love the design of the aprons as well. It's a good mix of colours. But yeah, I get distracted by so many things. I'm going to talk about that for a second. I remember yesterday when me and Titan spawned together, we got distracted for like a good few minutes because we noticed the bushes made noise when you walked past them. And we just kept getting distracted in the spawn room. I turned my head around to look around a cafe, and a butterfly outside catches my attention, so I watch that instead. It flutters back and forth, landing on a flower and resting its wings.
Miho!
Oh, my coffee's ready. I quickly get up and skip over to a counter. What's your favourite tea? Mine's basic. My favourite tea is probably green tea. But I just like that you can do a lot to it. Like, you can change a lot of things and just make it completely different. Yeah, I don't think I could work in a place like Costa. I worked in Starbucks for a few months during my masters, but I got too stressed and I had to quit so I could focus on studying. I don't think I could ever go back to a chain place. Not easily. Not unless I was desperate. My favourite tea is probably peppermint, but I can never set on a favourite for anything. Yeah, same. My favourite drink to order used to be hot chocolate, then it changed to iced tea. I mean, I was stuck at Heathrow Airport for like 2 days straight, and that's basically all I had. was iced tea and the lovely vegan sausage butties from Costa. So I got addicted to iced tea, and then when I got home from my holiday, I got addicted to green tea, and now I'm addicted to chai lattes. Chai lattes with oat milk and vanilla syrup is one of the best things I have ever drank. I haven't had it in a while, I will admit, but it's one of the nicest things I ever had. My former boss suggested it to me. I tried it because we had a spare chai latte for some reason. No clue why. And it was lovely. I tried that on my last day working there. Weirdly enough. Cup in hand, she starts to head over to give it to me. But then several things happen at once, and my dogs have started going crazy. One of her little tassels on the pocket of her apron catches on one of the drawers behind the counter, and she jerks to a stop, eyes wide open with surprise. I just love Miho's face, the black-haired girl's face. But yeah, my favourites change like every time I try a new drink. That becomes my favourite for a little while. I mean, but look at this. This drink looks lovely. Looks like it's gonna be super sweet, but looks nice. I think it was mint with cream and like a gelato. I can't remember what she said gelato was, but it looks really nice. One of the tassels on her pockets catches one of the drawers behind the counter. She jerks to a stop, eyes wide open with surprise. And my drink tumbles out of her hand, landing on the counter with a wet gloop sound as the ice cream splats against it, sending mint green rivers of coffee everywhere. I have literally had this exact situation happen to me. One of my co-workers, they tripped. They didn't fall or anything, but the hand knocked against something. The cup went flying, and literally it sent coffee absolutely flying everywhere. And I mean literally everywhere. It got into drawers, it got into cracks in the counter. We were cleaning that up for a good hour afterwards, and it was a lovely smell, because it was like, I think it was like a cinnamon coffee. So it smelled lovely, but it made a mess. And these counters, for some reason, because someone thought it was a smart idea, were pure, like, white, sort of like a very light white cream, sort of like cream tinge. And yeah, I felt so bad for him. And then a few weeks later, I did near enough the same thing, but I was lucky and it went into a coffee machine, so crisis averted. But God, I felt so sorry for him. They were so panicked. But this happens more than anyone will care to admit. This happens to everyone. Especially if you've got a barista or a bartending job. It happens more than you will admit. A few seconds pass where we just look at each other. Neither of us quite sure what to do. And then she takes a deep breath.
I am so sorry. I'll make you a replacement right away. Just give me 1 second and I'll have that ready for you.
Oh, bless her. Her words spill out faster than a beverage, making it hard to even understand what she's saying. Her face is bright red as she spins back around and grabs another empty cup. Then she stops, hands hovering awkwardly.
Wait, I should clean this up before it dries and starts to go bad.
She hurries back to a mess, wiping at it with some napkins. She mops up as much of it as she can with one hand, then leaves a soggy paper on the counter while she starts to remake my drink.
I'm really sorry. This is such an embarrassment.
As I learned during my first playthrough, that would be the worst kind of sticky if it dried. It would. Just anything from a coffee shop that would be the stickiest thing ever. Aspen is literally the personification of myself. I said this last time I streamed this, but this is literally how I would react. Just start mumbling to myself. I don't even know if she's talking to me or herself. I freeze up for a second, looking for an appropriate response to an apology. I'm not used to people apologizing to me.
Oh, it's fine. I'm not in a hurry.
Instead, I sit back down at one of the tables and watch. She makes a drink twice as fast and then carries it very slowly to a counter, settling it down in a clean spot. This time she takes a deep breath before speaking, like she's afraid she's gonna mess it up too.
All right, here's your drink. Again, I'm very sorry. Oh, this is your first time here, isn't it? Oh, I hope it doesn't leave a bad impression.
Oh, bless her.
Second, actually. Yesterday was the first time. How'd you know?
I make an effort to remember as many of our customers as I can, as well as their favorite orders. I believe you can learn a lot about a person from how they drink their coffee.
And you can also learn a lot about people from the way they talk about coffee as well. You have two types of coffee people. You have ones that listen to everything you say and take that into account. Then you have ones that think they know it all. Luckily, the ones that listen are in the majority, but you do get that few that are like, this isn't right, this should be this way, and then you're like, I was taught how to do this, I know what I'm doing. I'm sorry it's not the way you want it, but not my fault. This is how this coffee's made. Hate to break it to you. We were very lucky though, we had a really nice local brand of coffee that most people didn't really care if it was slightly different to how they had it before. Which was good, because all of us prepared stuff in slightly different ways. Well, that's too bad for her, because she won't remember me at all next time. I take a big sip of the drink she made for me. It's creamy and rich and sweet all at the same time.
Whoa, this is really good.
I always just drank black coffee, so I could be all like, you remember when coffee was just coffee? That's a bit more understandable. I love... Oh, hey, no. Mr. Auto Mod. But I don't, because I'm not an asshole. Oh, there was a really nice regular we had that every time she came in, she would rant about all these different coffees that existed. And in the back of my mind, I was always just like, you know what you want, just buy it. I'm not paid enough. Although, I must admit, it was quite good pay for barista. It was quite good pay. But she did it in the most sweetest way possible. And part of you was like, I don't want to listen to this, but it was just so... She was just so nice about it. And I'm like, why? Why are you telling me this? I understand, but at the same time I'm like,
It's kind
I
of
don't
like
need
a
to know it.
milkshake, but not. But it's not like coffee either.
I hate annoying people who don't give you any reason to complain about them. Yeah, it's like, you get that. We used to get that a lot from a lot of our regulars. And it was like, you're so nice about it and you're so well mannered and you're not actually complaining per se. So I can't even be like, oh, we're so sorry about that, and just sort of try and get them to move on. Whereas like, we used to only take card. So we had a lot of people that would complain about that. And we had someone that once, it was me and one of our zero contractors who was covering for someone else. First time doing we did shows, so it was like tons of people at once. It was her first time doing one of the shows on cafe. She usually worked on the bar. And someone just went off at her. This is a different person than Spill, different job. And that pissed me off something chronic. So then I took over while she was doing more drinks. And I became the most passive aggressive person ever. And just so sarcastic. Our bar manager, who was sort of running everything at night, came by and he was like, I've never seen you get angry, and I never expected to see you get angry, but that wasn't how I expected you to act while angry. And started making fun of me about how I got like super passive aggressive rather than angry. But he used to jokingly bully everyone about different things. It was so funny sometimes. I take a big sip of... Oh, I've already read that.
Yes, exactly. I'm very glad that you like it. It's one of my favourite beverages that we serve.
It's like, I don't even drink coffee. I think it was 4 of us that worked on the coffee in the cafe at this place, and only one of them drank coffee. And even then, they only started drinking iced coffee when they started working there, because they started trying, like, mixing things up and trying different things. So out of 4 of us, only 1 of us drank coffee, which was apparently hilarious to a lot of people.
In fact, the recipe was my idea.
Whoa! They should put you in charge of all the recipes.
She smiles again. Seems like she's gotten over the crisis of the spilled drink already.
Thank you. I'll make you another one of my favorites next time, if you'd like.
Totally.
At least I'll know what to order next time. Even though I'll have been forgotten. I'm already thinking of this place as my go-to coffee shop, especially since it's in a convenient area. Getting the same original joke from every customer. Yeah. It's like that whole, oh, it must be free then. Before I started working in retail and in hospitality, I thought people were overreacting and like, oh, haha, Mrs. said blah blah blah, sure it is. And you used to get a little bit I used to get a little bit in retail, and then when I changed over to hospitality, you get it all the time. Like, especially because our tills changed every single week because we were adding new stuff, taking new stuff off because it's a brand new place, changing things around, so it would take twice the amount of time than it should for us to find half the stuff. So you'd get it so often. I work in a charity shop. Yeah. I can only dread on that end as well. Some people, yeah, I think out of all like annoying customers, they're the ones that annoy me the most, because like, you know, they're not trying to be annoying necessarily, but they are so annoying. Like, at least with like pissed off customers that are annoyed over, like, for example, the whole money thing, I can be like, oh, sorry, yeah, it's not our choice, unfortunately, blah blah blah, in like a customer service voice, and it usually like calms them down or makes them so fed up that they carry on and they just leave anyway. Like what we were saying with the customers that are so nice but annoying, you can't exactly complain. It's, yeah. This coffee shop is only a tiny part of this game, and I talk about so much about it. With tasty drinks and cute baristas, I don't have a reason to go anywhere else. A knocking sound from the employee area gets both our attention.
Hey, Aspen, can you set another batch of croissants?
My headphones
sure.
are so
I'll be
weird.
right there.
They're not comfy at all. She calls back over her shoulder and then looks back at me briefly.
Have a nice day, Miho.
You too.
With a wave, she gathers the trash from the cleanup and throws that away before disappearing into her back. So, her name is Aspen. That's a pretty name. I'll have to try and remember it.